So wait,
probably a ghost.
Was the Hood in it too then?
No, the Hood is not supposed to be part of Riri's story. I don't know why. I don't know what
He's
the Hood
also
is
not
doing.
Hispanic either, but you know whatever.
I
Representation.
bet people feel represented. That's called attendance.
I do.
That's just, is our show white enough? Is our show Latino enough? Is our show this enough? And then there, we got it.
But maybe he's using his dark magic to put her under his spell because he needs her her knowledge of technology.
Evil magic.
That's
demon magic.
Yeah.
By the end of the show, they'll be on opposite sides. I think that's
right. I still don't want 5 straight episodes of not a favorable, not a role model. You know, the dark skin being associated with a life of crime. That would be just not good. Even
how many
if
episodes
the message.
Well, maybe she's going undercover.
The message at the end, even if the message goes, she fought the villain and she's doing on the right. She's on the right. She learned her right ways. I just endured crime and melanin. Like that's not something we need furthered.
Yeah, absolutely. Or maybe they were the ones that were responsible for her friend's death or something like that. You know, maybe she's doing this willingly, not to be a life of crime or whatever, but to
even if that's the reason, it's not. It doesn't like.
That's a justified reason, though.
No, not for me, because this is a creative show where you can do anything you want, and in the show, you have that. Even when people say The Woman King wasn't a slave movie, bro, the movie took place, slaves were in it. I could have enjoyed a $50 million production from Sony, starring Viola Davis and Lashana Lynch, that didn't feature slaves. Like the story featured this plot, even if there's a justifiable reason. I didn't need to see it.
But that was the story, though, wasn't it?
I didn't need the story
in the slightest.
The fact that slaves were on screen instead of escapism entertainment is the issue.
But that would have been a different story. Wasn't this like
right. I got a problem with the story.
Okay.
That'd be like having a story about the building of the World Trade Center and then they just blow it up or something. Like you can't. It's the story.
Wait,
it's the story, dude. Right? What are you talking about?
The other option is the white people are there to be exploring, and then you just fight them.
Nah, just scratch the whole movie.
Oh, so the
$50 million budget.
Africans.
Oh,
keep the budget. Keep the woman you're starring. You are fighters. Keep everything.
So you want like a Conan the Barbarian type movie?
Yeah, just don't give me a slave movie.
Right.
And
wasn't it
likewise? Keep Ironheart. Keep Dominique Thorne. Okay. Keep the budget. Keep the city. In this plot, don't show me the hero, the protagonist, living a life of crime. Even if it's for her to say, I changed my mind. I just don't want to see it.
But so we don't exactly know what the complete story is yet. You're just coming to a conclusion based on a 1 minute and 30-second trailer.
Then don't advertise it in a trailer.
Don't advertise what?
What the story's about?
No, don't advertise crime and dark skin, because this has been seen by 52,000 people right now. 52,000 people, 50,000 people just associated crime in Chicago with this superhero. How many superheroes really do crime? None. I don't think I've seen a single superhero do this.
What?
That's not true.
What are you talking about?
That's not true, dude.
Scott Lang was a thief.
Batman definitely does a lot of illegal break-ins and stuff.
You're right. You're right.
They're all criminals, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
All of them. What are you talking about?
I'm talking about Dominique Thorne's Ironheart. And I remembered as I said it, Ant-Man did it. If you rewind the tape, even before you guys all burst out, oh yeah, Ant-Man exists. But that's it. All the other superheroes are noble. You know,
Wasn't Wonder Man a bad guy, and Hawkeye was a bad guy, and
actually Peter Parker was a prick before his Uncle Ben died, and then he decided to become a hero.
Wasn't Black Widow a Russian spy? Like, what are we saying here?
Yeah.
But did she do crimes or did she do missions for?
Do you remember what happened in Budapest?
What happened in Budapest?
She killed that man's. Thought it was dead, but plenty of superheroes.
Yeah, chill. Yeah.
You only gave me Ant-Man, and then you told me Black Widow, who was.
And then I said Hawkeye.
Hawkeye didn't do anything in the MCU. or Spider-Man.
Oh, and see, but let's not goalpost it, because now you're moving the goalpost to the MCU. We're talking in general.
No, but
the
context
heroes.
of this conversation I'm having
Yeah.
is MCU, so I didn't move a goalpost. We're reacting to an MCU trailer.
Okay.
I'm talking about the MCU.
Okay, so strictly the MCU. Well, we'll start with the first. Tony Stark
Tony Stark's crime
was a warmonger. He was a warmonger, dude.
Tony Stark, the day that we meet this character, while we're sitting in a 2-hour movie, we learned about his superhero-ness. They didn't advertise in the trailer that this is some warmonger. Or look
yes,
at him
they did.
No, they did not. They did not show what they just showed right here. They did not show a big briefcase of money going, and he goes, yeah. What they advertised was this guy who's, what you're hoping Ironheart does is what they advertise. And they showed you that this is a guy who's not about to become a dirty, kind of like heartless person.
Well, see, we already had Ironheart in Wakanda Forever. That's first of all. Okay, so we saw her as a hero, a reluctant hero, but a hero nonetheless. Then in this thing here, we don't know exactly what's going to happen with the story, but Iron Man, I haven't seen it in a long time.
He said something false in her appearance in Wakanda Forever. She was doing people's homework for money. Right. She wasn't playing by the rules. She was kind of being a bad student, and she got expelled in this one, as we learned from the trailer. An expelled superhero.
Well, she's getting expelled because she doesn't show up for her classes, not because she was doing other people's papers, and that's fine. That's doing that, like the intelligent person, making money from that. That's been a trope since the 80s, bro. This isn't something like, if you want to have like, if you can say, why are you having bad movies with white people in the lead when you can have bad movies with black people in the lead too? Then you have to allow them to be able to do the tropes that white people have been doing too, which is a thing where, like, it was, in fact, in Grease 2, there was some dude that was doing the British dude that came over that was like the transfer student. He was writing all of the T-Bird's papers and making money off of it so he can afford a bike, so he can pick up Michelle Pfeiffer. This has been going for the longest time.
Pretending like it's equal. There's white stereotypes too. There's black stereotypes too. Which of these stereotypes
I'm talking about tropes. I hear what you're saying because that's all they show. Right.
All right. I used the wrong word. It's tropes. The tropes that Ironheart happens here reinforces, and what it reinforces results in dehumanization in real life, which results in what happened to Sonia Massey, what happens to just the prison industrial complex.
So, to be clear about this, no black person should ever be shown doing.
I know you were going to go to that extreme. I knew that was coming.
Because that's
if you're about representation, you can do this show without that scene, without that crime. You can do this trailer without showing that. I would prefer a just happy, hey, look at me, I'm Riri Williams, I'm smart, I do have troubles, I do endure challenges, I do lose my fights, but I'm not this criminal who joins the bad guys and does these crimes.
But this also could be a redemption story for her as well.
She is a child too. You do know that, right? And they have to learn.
She shakes my boy's hand. She could have learned before that handshake, and
he could have been doing the heebie-jeebie on her when he was shaking her hand. He is a villain. He's the villain of the piece, right? You do know that.
And she joined him, and it's not what they advertised, that he was being heebie-jeebie on her. And
they're not going to give the whole thing away, though. Chill, like, this is a teaser.
What they gave away was terrible representation to 50,000 people so far.
I don't care about them people.
But those people and what they think in their lives, they're going to end up on juries, and they're going to be the people who convicted Jonathan Majors were those people. Whether you care about them or not isn't the point. It's that they're going to be in their position and their power in their daily lives, whatever they do for work. They could be the clerk at the pharmacy. They're the ones, oh, look, is that guy stealing? I remember this Riri Williams thing, and she was stealing money, and she was all dark. She's got the same skin as Riri. Is that person at my shop stealing?
Let's pretend that Riri was white, and then everything that just happened.
Yeah, like literally nothing.
Would that be okay then?
Nothing I say applies if Riri Williams is a white girl. White women or white people in general are not facing these challenges. Like, people who have skin tone that is really light, they don't have this.
That is correct. However, I still don't think that I lost my train of thought. Blame it on the ADHD. Go on.
I see your point about that being in the trailer. It wasn't needed, to be honest. It's what they advertised. This
But
is
what was said?
superhero.
What was said when they were showing the scene, though? Like, what was the dialogue that was happening during the scene?
Tempted by the devil.
So, like, Shuri, she's not in contact with her anymore. Like, this just that's separate from Wakanda Forever. Like, just dropped her back off.
I think this is after. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Just drop her off and later deuces.
So she could have gone to Shuri for the resources instead of the crime.
Yeah,
Showing
or like
CJ.
when she got expelled. Yeah, go to Wakanda.
Hey, couldn't Falcon get some resources from the Stark family? But he had to go ask for a loan.
That's
Mhm.
crazy.
But there's a difference between Stark and Shuri. I'm
What's
sure you
that?
know what it is.
What's the difference in? They're different people. They live in different countries, but they both have money and they're both rich. So what's the difference?
Shuri's a queen.
So she's got more resources. They're both
Yeah,
equally.
she does.
They're both
She-
equally.
They are not equally.
Okay,
Dude.
they're both above the threshold of being concerned about. Oh, I can fund your little project. They're both that high.
They are. I agree with that. However, if she just got everything from Wakanda and Falcon, as you call him, just gets everything from Stark, those are really easy answers. It's like, oh, I just got. It's the same thing that people complain about with Spider-Man. Oh, you just got everything from Stark. It's like,
Mhm.
Stark and Sam was never friends like that, though. Like Stark
So
and Sam was never friends like that.
Stark gave his
It was really not. No, Tony really didn't fuck with him like that. They never had a share of scene or nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like
They
they
did.
was not fucking with him.
Mhm.
In Civil War, they did, but Sam was in jail and Tony was on the other side, and they had a little scene with each other.
Mm-hmm.
So
He's like, I don't fuck with you.
they can say, and I'd like an explanation where Sam says,
The
"Hey,
only correction was when Stark shot him after Rhodey fell, and then the next time he sees him, he's in jail.
Vision shot him."
No, when Falcon is standing over Rhodey's body, he's like, "My bad."
Oh, you're
man."
right. Yeah.
Yeah, he shot him because he was grieving his homie, his friend.
That's why I don't got no. That's why you get no that
They
care
can say,
package.
they can both say, Sam and Riri can say, "I'm too proud to ask for a handout. I'm self-made. That's why I have to earn everything my own."
Yeah.
Uncle Ben's nephew. I'm not rocking with nothing that's leaked. Daredevil, okay, but I'm not feeling the Fantastic Four cast at all. No, we got to see them act. Heath Ledger was laughed at. Everyone gets laughed at.
I'm cool at the three, but the one that sticks out to me is the Fantastic Four is Pedro. I just don't like Pedro like anything. I just don't know what it is about it. Maybe it's his face. I don't know. I never like. There's not been a role that really been like, oh shit, like Pedro's that guy.
That's because he's
Like,
in everything, dude.
I'm being made fun of here. If the whole world would just run their art by chill first, we could have this bigotry problem wrapped up in 2, maybe 3 years tops. I don't think 2 or 3 years of awesome representation and no stereotypes will wrap up the problem. But damn it, it would do awesome. It would be. Yes, I would love that.
When
Aggressively relaxing.
When Tyler Perry stops making movies, that's when we're gonna, you know, what I'm saying that's when we can move forward with the
Yeah.
stereotypes and shit.
Yeah,
Well,
2
he's
and
got
3
his
years
own
won't-
studio now, so that's going to be a long time.
I see your point about that. Or she said she went from 0 to 60, from nerd to criminal in that teaser. Yep. I feel like the Captain America 4, they're making a Cap 4?
Mm-hmm.
When?
Brave New World.
That's Cap. Falcon Brave New World will have his stuff made by adamantium by the government. Okay. Sorry.
Don't attack your mic, man.
It's flimsy, this thing. It's flimsy. I'm ready to wrap up. Are you guys ready to wrap up? Because I don't want to argue more about Riri and all that stuff, but this was an ignorant ass comment. Like, you have no idea how influential and how much images that we've seen have influenced real life. So yes, maybe 2 or 3 years won't, solve everything and wrap everything up, but it would be amazing.
I mean, they're gonna find a way to hate us no matter what. So it's
Ain't never going away.
Yeah.
That is such a dumb because it's true. It's a true statement. But the dumb part for me is there's less people who will hate because of the awesome representatives, because of the doctors, and because of the great occupations that are being held and not
Wait,
criminals.
no, because then they'll find a way to say, "Oh, they're just DEI hires."
They
Like
will. You're right.
we had
You're
a
right
DEI
about
hire
that,
as
Mike.
vice president.
Exactly.
Those
Apparently,
people
so.
will be the same people they always were. But the new people who are added to the groups, there will be less of them. There will be less hateful beings, less people if they're not influenced by all the negative images that Hollywood is providing them. Yes, you're right. Everyone who's going to be hateful and they kind of made the decision that's the life path they're going to be on, they'll be bigoted and hateful. They certainly will.
A couple of generations got to die off.
Yeah,
I'm not responsible for how bigots feel about me or potential bigots. I'm not going to take on the responsibility. I'm not going to close off who I am or who I want to be in fear of bigots feeling a certain way about me. F them niggas.
Now you just said I'm not going to
Exactly.
close off my. I'm not asking you to do anything. I'm just saying the movie right here or this TV show, what it depicted is.
When I say I mean the I in the grand, like the creators, whoever, if they want to create I don't even have to like it, but if they want to create something like that, they shouldn't be like, oh my God, but what would the bigots say? F them niggas. Like, I don't care about them.
Okay.
Well, like
Then,
I heard Anzo tonight complaining about Training Day.
can I answer what Kenny just said? Then what about the kids? Forget what the bigots think. What about the kids who have role models to look up to or will be inspired by these things? Every single casting I see of a guy whose skin is dark as I am, it's always a basketball player or athlete. And then there's drug dealer, crime, this kind of stuff. It's like limiting and it's poisoning the mind. So yeah, the bigots are going to bigot, fine. And I even though I disagree, but yeah, the bigots are going to bigot. We can't control them. We can't worry about them. I disagree. But what about the role models? What about the inspirational characters to grow up to be? I want these kids to envision great roles.
I want the
Aaron
kids to
Yeager.
roles too, but I also want the kids to feel like, oh, that person comes from where I came from and dealt with what I dealt with, and they were able to make it out in the situation. I also want the kid that, like Miles Morales, who's just a decent kid who didn't have to go through any of that. I want both because both are real.
And is there a balance of both, or is there way more of what the trash stuff?
There's definitely way more of the trash stuff,
All right,
but that doesn't mean none of the other stuff should ever be made again.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. It means that we gotta unbalance it, or rather, it's unbalanced, and we've got to control that balance. That's what it does mean. It doesn't mean we need to stop doing slave movies and crime movies and TV shows. That's what it does mean.
Well, I mean, how many slave movies do they really do?
A lot.
A lot.
A lot.
A lot. A lot. That's all I can see. Like whenever I see black, it's just Tyler. Oh god damn! Like you already know what's about.
Or Tyler Perry.
You see Lee Daniels and Tyler Perry, you already know what you're about to get yourself into. Like